Hi, welcome to Ransom Notes. Today we are going to be talking about how to get the most for your house out of a listing, like improvements and what to do to get your house ready, basically.
Best way to spend your money to get the most out of it.
Yes,
All right.
other than hiring us,
Well,
because that's a
agents,
given.
yeah. Being Compass agents, we got the inside scoop on all that and what to do just because we have that concierge program.
Yeah.
And try really hard not to make that sound like a pitch, but it's hard not to because it's a really cool program. So,
If you want to know more about that, I think reach out to us.
yeah, we
We'll,
can send you a link and you can read it. We won't bug the shit out of you.
we'll give you some tips now.
Okay.
Go for it.
Oh, okay. I'm immature. So, when remodeling your house, I think the first thing you want to do is something aesthetic.
Yes.
I have had maybe two clients that have cared about, like, okay, is the electric solid? Is the plumbing solid? Do you have a new HVAC system? Is there asbestos in the attic? And that shit you can't see. And therefore, when someone walks into your house and they can't see that, like, yes, maybe they might open the hallway door and be like, oh, here's the HVAC system. Oh, it looks newer. And it doesn't have that old school 70s, 80s tag on it, even though I think some of the newer ones still do because they're designed. Well, I guess that style kind of came back around. But, I mean, they're not going to be like, oh, yeah, well, let me pay an extra $10,000, $20,000 because this heater looks newer. They're going to expect it almost.
Yeah, the thing too is the first thing they're looking at is photos online.
Yeah.
Once they're starting to dig around to find out how old stuff is and how old the roof is, most buyers are already in the contract. So they've already got like an emotional and a physical attachment to the property. So they're not going to back out because the water heater's over its life period or whatever. Electrical, there's always electrical issues.
Always. And even then, if you have to replace a panel in most of the houses, like we sell around the $800 to $1.5 million range, these are typically your 1,200 square foot basic starter homes, 3-bed, 2-bath, all the way up to maybe, if you're in a bad area for that price point, 4,000 square feet you could get up to. But I don't know, at the same token, a panel for a house that size is going to probably run you maybe $7,000 to $10,000.
Yeah.
So if you take that $7,000 to $10,000 that you normally would use to replace that during an inspection, if it becomes a negotiation point, you're still getting that same value that you had when they wrote the offer for your house that looks shitty because you put your money into a water heater or electrical versus something that made them think it was nicer than it was. And countertops, like you could do a whole entire kitchen slab and an island. Well, I don't know now because I haven't replaced any since COVID hit and all the prices shot up.
It's a little more now, but
well, beforehand, you'd just say it would probably be around $2,000, $3,000 for the countertops, and maybe an extra $1,500 to $2,500 for an island slab, depending on obviously what kind of stone you're using,
yeah,
what the cuts are like.
doesn't really matter, right? If you're going to put in 10,000, do you put it into a panel that no one looks at or do you put it into a kitchen?
Oh,
Either way, the money, like
kitchen, 100%.
bathrooms, paint,
Well, to your point,
flooring.
when people are going to see that stuff and they're going to see in the photography, they go, wow, they really put some work into this house. Now, if you leave all that shit original and you got some terracotta on your floor, old carpet, oak or maple cabinetry that's either orange or yellow,
And isn't terracotta back?
I don't know. I'm not going to, maybe. You could do it, but you have to put a lot of money into everything around it to kind of dumb down that pinkish orange weird color. And
Yeah.
I think you need a really good designer. If you love terracotta, you got to do a lot of work on the rest of your house in order to make that not seem ugly.
And the other thing, just clean it up. Like a little elbow grease, like make sure your lawn is all kept up. Pull the weeds out of your garden. This is all stuff that most people can do themselves.
And even if you don't have the time, that's like I just had my gardener come and it was a little bit more expensive. We have giant hedges all around, but to do that, weed all the gardens,
Do a spruce up, like
$300,
cut
$400,
the hedges.
$500 at max.
Yeah, cut the hedges. Do a good, like, don't just, oh, we have a gardener every week. Tell them to come in and really clean up the property.
Yeah.
That goes a long way because that's, after the photos, the first part they see
Mm-hmm.
when they roll up to the house. And,
Curb appeal.
houses I've gone to in the past, like, 2 weeks that they don't even mow the lawns at. It's like,
Yeah, it's just
not a great,
lazy people going,
not
oh,
a great first impression.
market's hot. I'm going to get $5 million for this house. And then they just throw it up. And that's just, it's really tough if you're the agent for a seller like that. Or you're a bad agent if you got hired and you allowed that to happen because having a house look like it's not been tended to makes me think, and I don't know if this is a person thing or a real estate agent thing, that upkeep for that house is going to be consistent throughout. So if they're ignoring the fucking grass,
Yep.
they're ignoring things that actually are pretty important to take care of.
It typically is, yeah. I don't know how many houses I've had listed where I've done watering flowers and
Yeah.
picking out
You
weeds.
just do that because you like it, though.
Yeah.
You got a green thumb.
No.
The garden's beautiful.
Well, and the other thing too, with adding upgrades, if someone's going to buy your house as an investment, they're not going to pay top dollar. They are looking at it completely financially. So by doing these little like paint or kitchen, or that, you're attracting a move-in ready buyer, which is someone that's going to come to your house, live in it, love it, laugh.
Laugh. They're going to live, they're going to laugh, and they're going to love it.
What's that sign?
I don't know.
In
Live,
every-
laugh, love. I don't know.
every
Just
Karen's bathroom.
Don't make me say it. It's the worst. Well, I actually used concierge in this exact situation, and this was before they started kind of pushing the limits up on how much you could spend on a house. I think we had maybe a $20,000 limit for a downtown house that should have sold for 1.2 to 1.23 in the market. We listed $1,319,000, and we ended up getting over ask. And all we did, we painted, we did flooring, and ironically, they had terracotta. But they had some stuff to match. We got to pick out paint colors to kind of tone it down. But the only other thing we switched was the matching terracotta backsplash because it was too high up in the house and too much in your face. And we just replaced it. I can't remember. I want to say it was just plain subway tile.
Yeah.
It was white. It matched whatever countertops they had, and just the way the home showed from before and after. And I never even posted these before and after pics. I should probably go show people what I think it ended up being around $17,000. It ended up getting $120,000 more dollars.
Okay, and so for people that don't know, concierge is a program where they paid that Compass paid the 17,000
Yeah.
because the seller didn't want to pay out of pocket to get their house upgraded before listing, and that's interest-free money.
Well, and there's risk. Compass is taking all the risk on that.
So they're paying it up front, it's interest-free, and then when you sell their house, that comes off the top back to Compass, but it's an interest-free loan essentially on
Yeah.
the sale of your property. So it helps people that maybe money's tight if they're moving, or they just don't want to spend it. They want their house to get a little more equity because maybe that neighborhood's worth $1 million, but your house is only worth 900 because it's the rough one in the neighborhood.
Or
So,
maybe you want to do more than $20,000 of the work, because
Yeah.
it is all kind of based on a percentage, comps in the neighborhood, and broker opinions. I know I had to run and type out a little thing just to let them know, okay, this money's going to be there, the seller's going to make more money, and we're going to for sure get our money back.
yeah.
And so another way you can use that is if you do have $30,000 just kind of burning a hole in your pocket, well, then use compasses and then add that on top of it, and maybe you can do a little more
Yeah.
instead of just backsplash. And that money, if you're using the right realtor that sees these properties and see where the difference in a shitty house versus a fully remodeled versus a shitty flip versus a halfway done, and the price points at each one of those, well, then your realtor is going to be able to direct you to say, hey, I know if we do flooring, we do paint, we do these little things, we spend out $15,000, you're going to get X. But if we can just put in the extra $10,000 to replace all the countertops in the kitchen, and maybe another $5,000 to $7,000 refacing these, and just go white shaker or something that's more consistent with the rest, you
Yeah.
can get a lot more money.
And a lot of sellers know what their house needs. It's, I guess, to answer the original question, you have your list of like, oh, these are all the things I was going to do to this house.
Yeah.
Go through that list and see what you can knock off that is easy, and that will help your listing price.
Yeah, I mean, the old saying is paint and carpet. Now, I hate carpet, and I would never recommend carpet.
Paint and laminate.
Paint and laminate is my new slogan. Well, honestly, they do make some really good, like, nice surface textured laminate that mimics the texture of whatever wood it is you're buying. And a lot of them are waterproof.
Yeah,
So if you're a young family, you got kids, you got dogs, like, this shit is better, in my opinion, than wood floor. I have wood
Or
floors.
you want to match it into your bathroom and kitchen without ruining the wood floor, because it's going to get ruined.
It will. Especially if you have animals.
Yeah.
Dude,
So-
my wife used to move the dog bowl. I swear to God, I would kick it, and then just like a water explosion would happen. And if it went under a counter or anything else, like, my floors are old, and my kids have already destroyed them, so I'm lazy. I'll come back and be like, oh shit, I missed that spot, and now I have a piece of oak that lasted 50 years that just bubbled up, and there's nothing I can do to fix it.
Yep.
And it's a pain in the ass.
So you ruined it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna they're 5 and 6 years old now, so I got a couple more years in, and I'm gonna probably switch over to laminate. It's not as cold as stone. My kid my youngest, super clumsy. He's gonna hit his head on it. It's softer than if you get ceramic tile or hardwood floor. Like laminate, just it works well and it's cheap, it's cost effective, and it's gonna look good enough to get you the best bang for your buck.
And you can do it right before you're ready to sell.
Right before.
Maximum your profit.
Yeah. What time we at?
10 minutes.
All right. Well, so if you really can't decipher what you want to do, just stick with aesthetics before you go in and do something that's going to make your house function more solidly. And if you're having trouble, shoot me a text, shoot Davis a text, quick one-word answers. We're not very salesy people. And I can actually prove that. Have I ever called you? Probably not. Not to sell your house, at least.
I don't know.
No.
Probably not. No.
I just want to help people. I literally had to like change my thought process on this job in order to like it. I have to know I'm doing something good for someone, or else I would just go crazy.
Well, that's nice of you.
Thanks, Davis. I got a good heart.
All right.
That's it for this episode. If we missed something, or you have a couple other more detailed questions,
We
again,
missed something.
yeah, I'm sure we did. This is a really big topic for 10 minutes, but reach out to us and we'll be happy to just shoot you a quick little paragraph on what you can do.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you.
See you guys next week.
You can probably cut the beginning.